Today we're moving on with area problems. The area of a rectangle, let's remember, is length times width. So area equals length times width. So given the diagram below, find the value of x if the area of the rectangle is 78 square meters. So the length times the width. I'm going to write it as x times the quantity, x plus 7 equals 78. So the length times the width equals the area. And then distributing the x, we have x squared plus 7x equals 78. And you can solve this using any of the methods that we have discovered in class. Any one of them will work. I choose to factor it. I know that 78 is factorable. So we have x squared plus 7x minus 78 equals 0. Factor. And the factor pairs of 78 that have that add up to 7 are 13 and 6. So x plus 13, x minus 6. And we're going to tee it off and set x plus 13 equal to 0 and set x minus 6 equal to 0. And we have x equals negative 13, x equals positive 6. So x cannot be negative 13 because it's a real life problem. It is the length of the side of a rectangle. So it can be 6 though. So we're going to reject the negative answer on this one just because it's a real life problem. Stick with the 6 and x equals 6. Given the diagram below, find the dimensions. So this time we're trying to find length and width. The dimensions of a rectangle are its length and its width. If the area of the rectangle is 108 square meters, so 108. Let's remember the area formula is length times width equals area. And distributing the x to both terms, we have x squared minus 3x equals 108. And you can use any of the different factoring methods that we learned in class. I know 108 is factorable, so I'm going to subtract 108 from both sides. And I have x squared minus 3x minus 108 equals 0. And going through my calculator at y equals, typing in 108 divided by x, and I will find a factor pair that has a difference of 3. And that is 12 and 9. And to add to negative 3, the 12 has to go next to the minus sign, and the 9 has to go next to the plus sign. And now to solve for x by itself, I'll tee it off and set x minus 12 equal to 0, and x plus 9 equal to 0, and x is equal to positive 12, and x is equal to negative 9. So I'm going to reject the negative answer because it's a real life problem and the length of the side of a rectangle cannot be negative. But I'm going to say the length, you could pick either one to be the length. I'm going to pick it to be plain x, which is 12, and the width is x minus 3, which is 12 minus 3, which is 9. So my dimensions are 12 and 9. Make sure that you answer the question that is being asked. Find the dimensions of the rectangle below. So there it is again. The dimensions of a rectangle means to find the length and the width. If the area is 128 square feet, so 128. So let's remember the area formula for a rectangle is length times width equal to the area. So I have x minus 1 times x plus 7, and you can use double distributive or FOIL, or you can use that box method that we talked about. So x minus 1 times x plus 7, x times x is x squared, x times minus 1 is minus 1x, 7 times x is plus 7x, and 7 times negative 1 is negative 7. And like terms are always on the diagonal. So we have x squared plus 6x minus 7. So I'm just showing you another method that you can use to multiply two binomials together. You don't have to use that method. And you can use any method that we learned in class in order to factor it. I'm going to subtract 128 from both sides, leaving me 0, which is what I want, is equal to x squared plus 6x minus 135. So now I'm going to y equals on my calculator, typing in 135 divided by x. Seeing all the factor pairs of 135, I'm looking for a factor pair that has a difference of 6, and I see 15 times 9. So x plus 15, x minus 9 equals 0. And now teeing it off, I see x plus 15 is equal to 0, x minus 9 is equal to 0. So x is equal to negative 15, x is equal to positive 9. Negative 15 won't work for the length of the width because it's a real life problem. It can't be a negative, so I reject the negative. And I say length equals x plus 7, which is 9 plus 7, which is 16. And width is equal to x minus 1, which is equal to 9 minus 1, which is equal to 8. I choose to go down to number 5 and 6. There is no drawing. If there is no drawing, you're going to draw one. So there is my rectangular garden. The length is 4 meters more than its width. The last thing in the sentence is plain x. So we'll call this guy the width. And the length is 4 meters more than that. So x plus 4 is the length. And the area of the rectangle is 60. So find the dimensions. So let's remember dimensions are length and width. So 2 answers here, one for length, one for width. So we're going to solve for x, plug it in, and then plug it back into x plus 4. So we have x times x plus 4 equals 60. Distributing the x, we have x squared plus 4x equals 60. And use any method you want that we've learned in class. I'm going to subtract 60 from both sides. And we have x squared plus 4x minus 60 equals 0. I'm going to put 60 divided by x into my calculator and look for a factor pair that has a difference of 4. So I see 10 and 6. So I see x plus 10 times x minus 6. And then tee it off. And I have x plus 10 is equal to 0. X minus 6 is equal to 0. So x is equal to negative 10. X is equal to positive 6. It's a real life question. The x cannot be negative 10 because it's in length of a side of a rectangle. So I reject it. And I say the width is equal to plain x, which is equal to 6. And the length, which is equal to x plus 4, which is 6 plus 4, which is 10. Right. The length of a rectangle is 6 meters less than its width. The last thing in the sentence is plain x. So we have x, which is the width, and the length of the rectangle is 6 meters less than that. Remember, less than are turnaround words. So width minus 6 would be the length. Find the dimensions of the rectangle if its area is 27. So 27. So area equals length times width. So x times the quantity x minus 6 equals 27. Distributing the x, I have x squared minus 6x equals 27. Subtracting 27 from both sides, I have x squared minus 6x minus 27 equals 0. And factoring 27, I have x minus 9, x plus 3, and tee it off. I have x minus 9 equals 0, x plus 3 equals 0, x is equal to positive 9, x is equal to negative 3. And I reject the negative 3 because it's the length of a side of a rectangle. So I have the width is equal to plane x, which is equal to 9, and the length, which is equal to x minus 6, which is equal to 9 minus 6, which is equal to 3.